Curfew to be lifted soon. Adult toys now allowed for personal use. Ex-cop charged for shooting over a slipper. And oil money. Is it slipping out of the people's reach? I am Noriko Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6154. Yesterday, the 2022 national budget of $552.9 billion Guyana dollars was passed by the National Assembly, and it also approved the amount of $129.6 billion to be withdrawn from the country's Natural Resource Fund to help fund the expenditure. The vote fell directly along party lines as expected, with some of the opposition loudly protesting no to the budget. But unlike last year, they were actually present for the vote. Last night, the president spoke at a magazine launch. There he told the crowd of big businessmen that he wants the government to drop the national curfew as early as tonight. He said at this stage of the pandemic, it is apparent that curfews just don't work. This is honestly real convenient timing, seeing as matrimony is coming up. But I guess the government must be tired of hearing their donors complain in their ears. On a related note, the coalition wants Domlaw sanctioned for his comments in Parliament. Chief Whip Christopher Jones took note of Duncan's suspension, but found it, quote, interesting that the same level of sanction has not been applied to Domlaw. Jones has since written a letter to the Speaker of the House about the matter. We'll let you know if it actually gets anywhere. But I doubt it would. I mean, come on, if Domlaw can get away with shoving a gun in people's face and assaulting multiple persons, then I'm sure he'll get away with this too. Since we're talking about people who are obsessed with adult toys, the GRA has granted its approval for the importation of such items for personal use only. Adult toys have been listed as prohibited items under Guyana's Customs Act since they are viewed as indecent and obscene. Remember, this is an act from colonial times. Anyway, since there's so much demand for the toys locally, the GRA is reinterpreting the act so that vibrators and the like for personal use are no longer deemed as indecent or obscene articles. So you can bring them into the country, but you just can't sell them. But one look on Facebook Marketplace will show you that people have been selling such items locally for years. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is his 2014 Audi Q3. It comes with Bluetooth, mug rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, electronic parking brake, park camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $5.6 million, or pay down as low as $1,120,000 down, with around $108,000 monthly for 5 years, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Roche, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamajit, and tell them Noriko sent you for this sweet deal. The Bank of Guyana has announced that the new $2,000 bill will officially enter circulation on Valentine's Day. So on Valentine's Day, you can either spend the whole night out with a special someone, or spend $2,000 and buy a special something. Either way, it's good vibes all around. Anyway, all this talk of lovers and couples brings us to our next story. Yesterday, the government announced that a statutory population census will commence this year. Funding has been made available in this year's budget for the Bureau of Statistics to conduct the 2022 census. Dr. Singh did not confirm the total amount set aside in the budget for the activity. He did say, however, that the preparatory works started last year, with the fieldwork to be conducted this year, and further consolidation of data and analysis to continue next year. The last time Guyana conducted a population census was in 2012. It was finally released to the public in 2016. On Friday, 22-year-old former police constable Corinth Corbin was charged with allegedly shooting his ex-colleague Duani Lampkin in the leg with his service pistol during a fight over a missing slipper at the Brickdam police station in January of last year. Corbin denied the charge, despite the fact that Corbin escaped custody last year and was only apprehended a week ago. Magistrate Daly released Corbin on $75,000 bail and adjourned the matter until March 11, 2022. Let's just hope Corbin doesn't shoot any more cops in that time. Take a look at this beauty being constructed in a gated community called Richmondville in Guyana. It features 4 bedrooms, 1 pool with 7,000 square feet of living space, along with modern amenities. Contact Sheriff Construction on 592-618-5702. On Thursday, 18-year-old Elijah Prophet died after he crashed his motorcycle into a parked pickup truck on Craig Street in Campbellville. Prophet was not wearing a helmet at the time of the accident. he suffered severe injuries to his head and body. Nevertheless, Prophet was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. It's now time for today's Runner Report. There are 95 new cases, 1,190 people dead, 15 in the ICU, 1,937 in home isolation, and the total number of confirmed cases around the nation now stands at 62,156. So please, wash your hands frequently, avoid touching your nose and mouth, and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds, and remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? Accepting a lack of transparency from your government. The government has yet to withdraw the oil money, and already questions remain as to how it will be used. Last night, Ashley Singh admitted to Parliament that the 126 billion Guyana dollars coming from the Natural Resources Fund will be pooled with other revenue streams in the Consolidated Fund, which will pay for government programs for the year, all of which are considered national development priorities and as such could not be disaggregated and identified as financing a specific project. Honestly, on face value, this is already a very opaque statement for a politician to make, especially if we're talking about the people's money. Now, if I remember correctly, we were told that every dollar spent would be accounted for. If the exact numbers cannot be isolated prior to withdrawing the money, then we basically have to take the government's word that each dollar will go to exactly what it's supposed to fund. But the problem is that if this is solely for budgetary support, and the government ministries form the budget on their own, then this means that the government is about to spend the first year of our oil money, and the general public will have absolutely no idea about how it will be spent, nor will the people have any input on how it will be spent either. Additionally, the board who's supposed to approve such spending of oil money has yet to be announced. But even these people are handpicked by the president, meaning that, again, the people themselves literally have no say in what is going on with our oil money. And many people seem to just be idly accepting that, that's how things are supposed to go. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this money supposed to be special? I mean, come on, it was hyped up for years as the people's money. We sat here, all of us, for years. All of us at all levels of society. We debated what we should do with the oil money. We dreamed up 1,001 ideas, from giving families yearly checks to abolishing income tax for all citizens. But when that moment finally came, that special moment when we found out what our first withdrawal would be spent on, they have the nerve to tell us, I don't know, infrastructure or something. Give me a break! I mean, seriously, if this was a movie, that would be the biggest, lamest letdown of the year. Now, I know things are more complex than that, but all I'm trying to say is that I really hope that the people will get to have a say in how next year's oil money revenues will be spent, because this whole situation is pretty stupid. You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel top-up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy through Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Moving on to our Uncut News, views poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Well, yesterday's question we asked about the stupid news. And Hallelujah said, please keep the stupid news to the end. It's a good way to close the news. Maria Vera said the stupid news section is one of the best things about Uncut News. Save the best for last. And finally, Janice Archibald said, keep it to the end so we can have something to smile about. I enjoy watching the news here. Great job. Hallelujah, Maria Vera, Janice Archibald, and everyone else who commented. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We really, really do. So it will stay exactly where it is. Now, for tonight's question, I want to know, do you support the government's dropping of the curfew? Why or why not? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out on Monday for another. Until then, I'm Rico Pulford saying, have a great weekend. And as always, don't drink and drive, or you'll end up on Monday's episode the hard way. Ha-ha! Good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.